Benjy showed me his posture and ergonomics and I was shocked, but not surprised. In this video, I asked Benjy to send me images of his posture, ergonomics, and the time lapse of him playing to see if I can help one of the best in the world be better. I've worked with Benjy before to address some wrist pain that he was having that affected him when he played. And now I want to make sure that he has minimal risk for developing any other type of injury or pain. So here's how this video is going to go. The first thing we're going to be doing is called the 1 HP Smart Gamer Challenge. He's going to guess which image I'm most concerned about, and if he gets it correct, he will win 1 full year of free consultation for injury management. Then he's actually going to hop on a call with me and I'm going to walk through some of the most important things that I found and what he can actually do about it in terms of exercises or changes in his lifestyle or behavior. And hopefully you guys will learn something from it. So let's just get going with the challenge. If you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so first things first, great to meet you. As I said, the first thing we're going to be doing is this Smart Gamer Challenge. And out of all the photos that you sent me, I pulled aside 4. And you're going to be guessing which one I was the most concerned about. And then you can maybe tell me why. And if you do get it right, you get 1 free year of consulting with me. So any injuries that you have, any concerns with your physical health, you know, I'll set aside some time, hop on a video call with you, and then we just address it and create a plan. So here are the photos, and you can see, right?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so we have A, we have B, we have C, and we have D. So just, you know, take your time.
Okay.
You can, or if you already know, you know, go ahead and just make the guess. And
This is a tough one. The thing is, I feel like there isn't too much wrong with it. That's the thing. Like I guess I'm kind of used to it at this point. I feel like B. I feel like I feel like it's either B or C. I feel like the way I like my keyboard hand is a bit weird. I think. I don't know. I definitely think it's B or C. Maybe I might be completely wrong here, but
final answer, or you want to take
final
some
answer.
time?
I'm gonna go with C.
All right, it is actually A.
Oh,
it is
actually
A.
I'm completely wrong.
So it's A, you know, and I'll talk through part of the reason why. That was sort of my initial concern overall, and it's pretty relevant to what you actually showed me when you first had some issues with your wrist. So here's like another image of all the things relating to your hand, your mouse and keyboard, how you bend your wrist relative to straight, and you'll see here on the left, right? I drew this straight line, and that represents the center of your wrist. We have 20 degrees bending towards your thumb and 30 degrees bending towards your pinky. That's radial and ulnar deviation. So you're already taking up a lot of the range of motion going out to the right. And yes, it's a little different per person, but that shortens a lot of the muscles on the pinky side of the wrist, which actually, you know, I think was a big contributor to some of the pain that you had here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
probably.
A lot of the times when I changed that, and that's something that actually happened pretty recently with a pro player on West, I just changed this one thing, his pain went away. And I did the same thing with a CSGO player on a couple years ago, but just changed this one thing, pain went away. Not to say that you have to change this, right? Because right now, you don't have pain. But it's all a matter of risk, okay? It's all amount of risk that you will develop some issues here. But I'll also say that because you also hold your mouse like this, and I'm not sure if this is consistent, this might just be the image. You see how it's kind of tilted to the left? And I drew the little circle of where the mouse might be.
Yeah, I am noticing right now that I do have it like that. Okay. I think that's like my resting if I'm holding my mouse. It's normally like that.
Yeah. So a lot of the times, this is interesting, and again, it's just a small increase of stress, but because the center of mass is to the right of the center of the wrist, that means the muscles on this side will have to work harder
Hmm.
per movement of the mouse, per lifting of the mouse. So again, it's all about amount of stress to this part of your wrist based on how you're holding it. And I would
Okay.
say again, you don't have to change it if you're not having pain right now. Especially this one. I wouldn't worry too much about this one. But for this one, I would say it's a good consideration because if you do decide to shift to the center, you have more range of motion going both directions. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've ever noticed too when you, I don't know, maybe like build and
Nah.
prioritize to the right, where you limit some of your motion, or you feel like you have to lift up your mouse and keep moving to the
Actually,
right.
yeah. I mean, I definitely find it more like it's definitely harder, like building more to the right. I find it a lot easier to go to the left. Actually, yeah. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, and that's really because of this issue, right? Our normal range of motion is 30 degrees going in ulnar deviation or towards the pinky, and then 20 degrees going in radial deviation or towards your thumb, which brings it to 50 degrees total. And as you can see, you have 18.8 degrees going to the pinky, which means you only have about 10 to 12 degrees left going right, whereas you have a whole 40 degrees to go to the left. And that's consistent with what you just said. So if you move it to the center, you'll actually feel like you have better control on both sides. So I think it can positively impact you. But again, typically when I ask people to change it, it's during like a off season, which is maybe right now in between FNCS
Yeah.
when there's
Yeah.
not as many tournaments, so you can get used to it. Like you get used to
Mhm.
new sensitivity, like you get used to new mouse.
Yeah.
This is actually okay. This is actually not bad.
Oh, okay.
Supination really just means that you're tilting your palm facing up, and if it's slightly up, it actually has been shown that your muscles, work better that way. So,
No.
um, you know,
Nice.
it's not an issue. And
Yeah.
and same thing here. There is a slight tilt of 10 degrees, but typically if it's more than 15 is when I'm more concerned. So for you, if there's no pain, I wouldn't change anything.
Okay.
Next up, we're going to be reviewing the rest of his setup to see what other injuries he might be at risk for. The images he sent me actually did not match up with his gaming posture in his time lapse. This is his left side with an apparent tilt of the shoulder blade with more moderate rounding of the mid back, and additionally we can see his elbows are below his wrist. This is his right side, which is much better and in a more upright position, along with a much better angle of his elbow. However, we can see his shoulders are elevated a bit, and that's not as evident while he's gaming, so I wanted a little bit of clarification from Benjy.
I mean, I think probably the one where I'm playing, to be honest, the time lapse. I probably shift a bit between them both, depending on like.
Active?
Yeah. I mean, no. Normally when I'm like chilling, I'll like rest back in my chair
Got
normally
it.
and try to get my back straight. But I'd say yeah. I think let's say I'm like scrolling through Twitter or something. They're probably like the other ones, the non-time lapses, what it more looked like.
Got it. Got it.
I think getting my new chairs helped quite a lot as well because my old chair was so bad. Like I could already notice that my back hurt quite a lot more with my old chair. Like when I'm just resting, this chair is like so nice. Like it makes my back straight and everything,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is really cool.
Ultimately, the rounding at the shoulder blade along with the elbow angle can lead to earlier fatigue at the forearm muscles due to some tissue connections from his shoulder down to his forearm. This was actually shown in a study referenced earlier showing that as we reduce the angle of elbow flexion, forearm endurance decreases. Additionally, this shoulder position can cause some irritation of the rotator cuff, leading to pain here and here, and what I've described previously as gaming shoulder. Because Benjy is regularly exercising and sits more closely in this position during gaming, he has relatively low risk of developing these issues. So my recommendations for Benjy was
Ah,
I also think that if you raise your chair up, maybe like 1 or 2 inches, it could
mm-hmm.
help overall just fix a lot of these issues because one, you are rounding here, and I think you're rounding because your armrest is a little lower, so you're getting down a little lower. But if you raise your chair up and your thighs are a little more parallel to the ground, and then you sit more upright, your forearms won't have this 78-degree angle. It'll be more like upright like this. Do want to get in and do some or look to improve this during your off season, I would incorporate some of the stretches, and that would mean doing the pec stretch, doing upper trap stretch, doing sort of the deep neck stretch, doing that on in between some of the games, in between some of your longer blocks, like after a scrim block or after a catch cut, because you will have expectedly sat for a while and then your
Yeah.
muscles will be stiff. Same thing as, hey, we use our wrist and hand muscles a lot. You want to definitely stretch afterwards to help recover a little bit.
Mhm.
And then I would say for strengthening, if you want, you can add some of these exercises to the end of your gym day. Like, hey, I'm just going to do 2 or 3 like posture strengthening exercises. If you have, I guess, any final questions or thoughts, I can
Um.
yeah, I'll go over the exercises
um,
with you, or you can reference this
yeah.
video back.
Okay. Yeah. I can't really think of any, to be honest. That all sounds great. Yeah. I mean, I think I'll lift my chair the 1 2 inches to hopefully that'll help a little bit.
Yeah.
And do the exercises.
All right, that is all, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this and leave a comment below if you have any suggestions for what I should be doing with some of the other pros that I work with. And it also really helps if you share this on Twitter, Reddit, and any other social media platform. Look out for some more content like this. Don't forget to subscribe and check out our Patreon if you want some individualized help. I will see you guys soon.